Welcome grade 12 to part number 2 of the trending trends. So right now pag-uusapan natin ang Scales of Trends by Alf Rain and Magnus Lindqvist by 2013. So they discussed on this topic paano nagsisimula ang trend at when you say scales, gaano kabigat ang dating, gaano kabigat ang impact, and gaano kalawak ang sakop ng trends. So, we have number one, they identify the first as micro trends. So, from the word micro means small, these are the little things that happen all around us. Ito yung mga pagbabagong maliit na hindi pa napapansin. However, these are very important because if you are very observant of what is happening, ito yung pwedeng maging next na uso. Halimbawa, ano yung pwedeng maging next uso na flavor ng milk tea? What will be the next trending na style ng sapatos? What will be the next trend in the real estate industry? So these are the little things because as we all know, hindi naman nagsa-stop ang mga bagay sa mundo. They kept on changing because of the time. Lalo na, halimbawa, pandemic, ang daming mga bagong nauso na microtrends, okay? Kasi nagsisimula pa lang sila. And then, if that microtrend will persist, and depending on its popularity or on its gamit sa mga tao, and if more people, di ba sabi, the trend is a general movement. So pag mas marami ang gagamit, mas marami ang mag-experience, mas marami ang magja-jump into that kind of thing, then it's called macro trends. So we are not saying, and these two authors, hindi nila binigay kung ano ba talaga yung mga distinct na criteria na eto macro na. But this is the process of change in the society na nagsisimula sa maliit, microtrend, and if that trend, yung sa yung microtrend A, microtrend B, if microtrend A would have more people jumping into that bandwagon, then it can be a macro trend. Now, they gave an example, which is a very, very good example, easy to understand, the social media. Dati, hindi lamang lahat ang nagfe-Facebook. When it was introduced by Mark Zuckerberg, these are only for Harvard students as a way of communicating their findings and their researches. But when it became commercialized, it was commercialized, then naging macro trend siya. All of a sudden, parami ng parami ang gumagamit ng Facebook, and until now, naging macro trend siya. However, there is a bigger thing than macro trend. We call it the mega trend. So when macro trends started to have grown up, naging part na sila ng buhay ng mundo. So, of course, when it was written, it was way back 2013, social media back then is a macro trend. But right now, we believe that it's already a mega trend. Why? Because 7 years after, nakita na natin na Facebook is just an ordinary thing. That's the point. Pag ang microtrend, maliit na uso, ang macrotrend, usong-uso, pag megatrend, uso pa rin siya in a way na part na siya ng ordinary nating buhay. Halimbawa, cellphone, when it started with Alcatel and Nokia 3210, microtrend, and then dumami ang bumili, naging macrotrend, and right now, it is natural for us to have a cell phone. So it became a mega trend. Nandyan pa rin siya, it affected a lot of people, in fact, the human race, but then it became an ordinary part of life. And the last one is, well, gigatrend, gigabyte, di ba, sa mga file. So gigatrend is, these are the definition of an era, the definition of a time. For example, Cold War, 1970s, di ba? Renaissance, medieval age. Sa history, may mga tinatawag na signpost ang bawat panahon. May Roman era, may Roman times, may Greek classical culture. We have what we call the space race, 1960s. Nagunahan ng mga bansa, yun ang uso. Nagunahan ng mga bansa kung sino makakarating sa buwan. And we have 1980s, roaring 70s, di ba? 1980s, the dream, the American dream. Year 2000, the cyber age. Puro about internet na. The internet was born and it became a part of our lives. So ang gigatrends, these are the definition. At sa German, ang tawag natin dyan ay the zeitgeist, the time, kung ano yung namamayaning panahon. And then, we have here examples from Nicebit 1982 and Aberdeen 1990. According to them, okay, these are the original mega trends, yung pagbabago talaga ng panahon. Halimbawa, from industrial society to an information society. Dati, puro factory, skill-based, ngayon, knowledge-based. Force technology to high-tech. May low-tech, may high-tech. Okay? From national economy, dati kanya-kanya ang bansa. Wala namang EU, walang world trade, and etc. But right now, countries realize that they have to help each other out. Kaya ang daming mga alliances na nabubuo. And then they have the short term to long term. Dati ang mga pagpaplano short term lang. Talagang kung ano lang magagawa. But ngayon, nauso na yung mga long-term planning, yung mga vision, yung mga goals, and etc. We also have centralization to decentralization. Dati ang power nasa isang tao lang, even in the government. Monarchy, di ba? But when democracy prevailed, it was decentralized. Hindi na isang tao lang makapangyarihan. Right now, hindi lang government ang makapangyarihan. We have social media, we have the mass media as powerful compared to the church. Dati church ang malakas, dati school. Ngayon, it's the mass media. And then we have institutional help to self-help. Dati, makakakuha ka lang ng help sa mga institutions, sa mga agencies. But right now, if you want to deal with your stress, you can just go into the internet and find a self-help book. Gusto mo magluto, dati kailangan mag-enroll ka sa culinary arts. Ngayon, kung gusto mo magluto, mag-type ka lang sa YouTube, hanapin mo yung recipe at pwede ka na magluto. Self-help. And then we have representative democracy. Dati we chose people, but right now it's more on participatory. Why? Because of technology, the people can access and the people can reach the government website, they can bash the government, and it's more on participatory. And there's another example, hierarchies. Dati, pag nagtrabaho ka, talaga magsisimula ka sa mababa, papunta sa mataas, from the lowest hanggang sa maging boss ka, ma-promote na ma-promote na ma-promote. But right now, it's networking. Kahit hindi ka pa may position sa work, pwedeng tumaas ang sahod mo. Why? Networking. You gather people, you recruit people, you collaborate with people, and definitely, there's no hierarchy involved, walang boss, basta nagtutulungan, and eventually, you're able to do great things or greater things. From north to south, yung migration natin. Diba? Dati lahat tayo papunta sa north kasi maganda sa north. But right now, napupunta tayo sa south. Diba? Pababa ang mga tao. I think it has something to do with the climate. And it's something to do with global with global thing. Mas maganda sa south ata talaga. And even the knowledge, diba? From north, maraming north mga yung sa mapa, yung north maunlad na bansa. But right now, the south are thriving. Yung mga nasa ilalim ng equator, humahabol sila. India, China, diba? Humahabol sila sa economy. And the last one, dati walang choice. It's either Adam and Eve, diba? Boy or girl, man, woman. But right now, multiple options. We have the LGBT. We have a lot of mental health problems. We have a lot of organizations. So a lot of people have choices. Hindi lang dati ang trabaho, hindi lang engineering, doctor, diba? Right now, you have multiple options. Another example would be some megatrends identified by Patricia Aberden. Para sa kanya, ito yung mga indicators ng panahon. The booming global economy, that was way back 1940s, diba? Yung mga baby boomers na ngayon namamatay na sila. Renaissance in the arts, panahon ng mga classical, yung mga painter, di ba? And then emergence of free market socialism. Nagkaroon ng distortion sa free market. Naging semi-private ang mga bagay kumpara dati na it's either private or full na public. Another thing, global lifestyle, di ba? Dati wala ka namang makita sa TV na ibang palabas. Pag pumunta ka sa mall, ang daming pagkain na iba't ibang cuisine. Pero dati, solid lang yan. Bakit? Hindi pa nakakapag-travel ng tao. Wala pang television. But right now, people have access to a lot of global lifestyle in the world. And then, the rise of women leadership. Very important. Women leadership. Dati, they're not being recognized as leaders. Right now, maraming mga field na open na for women leadership. We also have the age of biology. Okay? Ito yung mga robot-robot, saka yung mga cell treatment, diba? Stem cell research. We are looking on how to prolong life, and we are looking on how to cure a lot of diseases. Religious survival. God is dead? Yeah, dati. But right now, God is back with a vengeance. And of course, the triumph of the individual. Ang pagtatagumpay ng tao. Never in the history that individual was merited for a lot of achievement. Ngayon, ikaw ay dapat may marating. Okay? Dahil lahat ng mga bagay ay binibigay na sa tao. You can access a lot of things in order for you to triumph. When you say triumph of the individual, it speaks of the time. Na ang tao, again, man is the measure of all things. Kaya ng tao, he can rise above the challenges. He is bigger than his challenges, and that is why you will find a lot of lessons, a lot of articles would focus on the capacity of man to be greater, bigger than his or her challenges. So those are the megatrends identified by two authors. Malalawak ito, but then again, if you would make it as your research, you're going to realize paano nagbago ang mga bagay-bagay. So this is part number 2 of the Trending Trends. Thank you for listening.